Well, good morning, students. Happy Monday morning. This is week number 5 of our Business 20 Business Mathematics course here at Norco College, fall 2022. And this week we're going to be looking at chapters 12 and 14 from your textbook on annuities and mortgages. Annuities are very, very similar to compound interest problems and present value interest problems, but annuities are paid they're basically savings that you put in a little bit at a time with the hope of having some sum in the future. So you might say, I'm going to buy a new car in 5 years and it's going to cost me $50,000. How much do I need to put in now every month or every week or every 3 months or whatever it might be to have that $50,000 with compound interest? And you'll find that it'll be a certain amount every week or every month that you would be putting in. And at the end of those 5 years, you'd have the money you need. And it'll ultimately be less money that you've put in because compound interest will be added to it. So you won't be putting $50,000. You might only be putting $32,000 in or $30,000. But because of compound interest, by the time the 5 years is up, you'll have the $50,000. So that's what an annuity is. A lot of times they're used to pay out retirement. Sometimes they're used for savings, like I just mentioned. And then, of course, mortgages. We're going to be getting into the different kinds of figuring out how much is your interest and payment, how much is your payment and interest, your principal and interest payment. What if you add insurance to that? And so we go through some of those, and you have to use a chart to figure out your factor in order to figure out what your payments are going to be. And so we go over all of that in chapter 14. By the way, I explain how to do annuities in chapter 12 study page, and I explain in a video that I have posted there. I also explain how to do mortgages on chapter 14. Study page. I have a video there as well. So those are both valid videos. I think they came out pretty good. So make sure you work through those with me. I'm pretty much working through the homework assignments or the suggested study sections. But I promise if you go through that with me on the video, you will understand how to do it and you'll be able to get the questions correct that you need to, the answers correct. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And here we are going to scroll down here to module number 3, which we start today. So last week means that you finished your first midterm exam. Don't fret it. I have to go in and actually grade that. So it's going to take me a bit to get your answers back to you on that because I have to manually grade all the ones that, see, you might say, I hate when you give me the questions I have to actually answer and work out and then I don't have a multiple choice. I have to put in the answer. Well, it's just as hard for me to go in and actually grade those, and I try and limit those. I think we had quite a few in chapters 10 and 11, and I apologize for that. I need to go back and limit that, but either way, they do help me to see you working out a problem and allow me the chance to give you some feedback. So I will be working through that on the exam, and your homework and all that should be all done by today, but your exam might take me a couple of days to get that done. But that was week number 4. And so, excuse me, so we are starting, that was last week. So you did your check-in assignment, helping Sierra with some simple interest and compound interest problems. By the way, I did give you a little tip in the email I sent on Sunday night about how to know whether the problem should be simple interest or whether it should be compound interest. So please review that. You had your quiz. You also had your case study number 2, which was basically using the percentage method of payroll to figure out what Michael's previous taxes were and what his new taxes are going to be once he gets married. And so that's why it's called The Bride, the Groom, and the Taxman. Then you had your midterm exam, which I said I'll be going through and grading here this week. So as we come into week number 3 here, or 5, excuse me, module number 3, we start. You have your announcements video, which you must view or at least open the page before it'll let you go any further. You have the Read Me First for week number 5. Make sure you read that and mark as done. You have your Help Sienna week 5. Make sure you read that and mark as done. I have here a Zoom session, but that is not true. It's going to be the following week, so I'm going to remove that. That'll be the following week, so I'll put that down here. And so back here, so you have, again, your study page for annuities. You must work through that or at least mark it as done. So I'm making you at least open it, but please review it and then mark it as done. The best thing to do is to use the videos that are there. So if you select chapter 14 here, is right here. Me is a video of me working out ordinary and annuity dues. So if you open your textbook to the page here, page 373, 374, and you watch the video, and you walk along with me. I'm actually working through the problems in the homework, and so that might be valuable to you. Same thing with me working out ordinary and annuity due on present value. So this is where I want a fixed amount in the end, and I want to know how much I need to put in every month. A regular annuity or annuity due is when I'm putting in a certain amount of money. How much will I have after so many years is what I'm looking for. So remember, before we were putting in a single amount for compound interest and letting it sit there. Well, now we're putting in payments every month or every 3 months or every quarter, every year. How much do I need to put in every year? If I put in $5,000 every year in 15 years, what will I have? That's an annuity, and that's what you'll be looking at this week. So remember, just use those videos that I've already done here. They're very helpful, and they explain how to do these. So you have a study page for each chapter 12 and 14. There's some tips on solving word problems. There's a formula sheet for both those chapters. So then your actual work, as always, is your check-in assignment. So you're going to be helping Sienna decide on some annuity questions as well as some mortgages. She's looking at buying some property. She's looking at expanding her business. I think Michael's looking at buying a home. So you're going to help them solve some problems. Again, if you get it posted by Thursday, I will get you feedback by Friday, Saturday. If you post it after Thursday, I can't guarantee I'll even get a chance to look at it until Sunday. I think some of you might have did this week. I think I only had like 6 people or 8 people that actually did this by Thursday this past week. And so I dealt with all those on Friday, and I had all the answers as well as the answer sheets sent to them. So they had a chance to go back and correct whatever they made wrong. In your case, if you didn't submit yours by Thursday, I didn't grade it yet. And I'll be doing that a little bit today, Sunday. But it's Monday that you're watching this video, but I'm recording it on Sunday, so some of that may be done. But either way, it may not be in time for you to actually utilize my feedback to help you with the quiz or anything else. So please submit it by Thursday, and I will give you feedback. That way you can correct whatever you're doing wrong, and you can know what you're doing when you go to your quiz, or in this case, to your exam, which was very important last week. Anyway, so get it to me by Thursday. If not, it's due on Sunday, and I may or may not give you feedback if you turn it in after Thursday. So you have a quiz on chapters 12 and 14, and then you start your next case study that's called Don't Forget Inflation. And this is where you're going to be calculating an annuity as well as doing a compound interest on inflation. And so don't overthink it. It's really a very simple problem. So do your best shot at it. If you have any trouble, please let me know, and I'll give you some help pointers. But that's it for this week coming up. We only have 3 more weeks after this one, so keep up the good work. By the way, this is the last week we deal with annuities, compound interest, any of that interest stuff. Next week we get into inventory and depreciation, which are a whole different topic. So it's not dependent on what you're learning these last 3 weeks. But the last 3 weeks have been pretty consistently similar material, kind of building on one another. So if you've fallen behind or really struggling with that a little bit, don't fret it. The next section, the next 2 modules are completely different, and you may grasp those much better than you did the interest ones. But anyway, have a great week, everyone. If you need any help, please don't hesitate.